day to you, folks of YouTube. I am your host, Vert343, here again to talk about Doom. Doom is a game franchise that has been around since before the turn of the millennium. First appearing in 1993, specifically on December 10th, 1993, it has since become immortalized as one of the most important franchises in the first-person shooter genre, and, to be honest, in all of gaming history. And I am here today to dig deep into the history of Doom, and what rose it to fame not once, but twice. Once in 1993, and once in 2016. Development began in November of 1992, but was not destined to last long, as on December 10th, 1993, Doom was released to the public, with the first episode being uploaded to a server in the University of Wisconsin as shareware. Between December 1992 and the start of 1995, the shareware episode of Doom was estimated to be installed on 10 million computers, more than Microsoft Windows was at the time. On the other hand, the full version of Doom was only available by mail order, which by 1999 had sold somewhere between 2 and 3 million copies. Doom became popular for a number of reasons, and the first of which was its fluid and non-stop gameplay, packed with action and developed in such a way where speed and exploration were heavily incentivized and definitely rewarded. With extra health packs, new weapons and bonus ammunition, this rewarding exploration made the game exponentially more fun, as you could often find weapons earlier than they appear in the non-secret parts of the level, giving you an easier time and a use for certain ammo types you might have otherwise not been able to make use of. And then there was the weapons. The weapons of Doom were, to put it simply, ahead of their time. id Software put time and effort into creating a varied and impressive arsenal ranging from a pistol with the same stopping power as a Nerf gun, to a gun literally called the BFG, short for the Big Fucking Gun, that fires superheated balls of enemy liquefying plasma, powerful enough to melt the boss of the first episode of the game, which was a pair of Barons of Hell, in a grand total of 2 shots, one for each Baron. These weren't the only weapons though. There were other weapons that became instant classics, such as the shotgun, renowned for its reliability and ability to be your go-to primary with its powerful shots, high ammo capacity, and all-around punchy feel. These weapons put Doom far ahead of other shooters of its time, namely Wolfenstein, which is the shooter widely credited with introducing the genre to the general public. This was not the only thing putting Doom ahead of its competition though. Many other elements, some small, some large, were done better than ever before in Doom, especially the soundtrack. That snippet you just heard was the opening of one of gaming's most legendary and recognisable musical tracks. Episode 1, Mission 1, At Doom's Gate, featured in the very first level of the very first Doom game released in 1993, Doom's soundtrack features many other high-quality MIDI tracks, all of which were composed by Bobby Prince. Doom also has the advantage of its engine, one very unique on release. The 2.5-dimensional id Tech 1 engine, otherwise known as the Doom engine. This engine, while not the first ever 3D shooter engine, was a massive improvement on the Wolfenstein 3D engine, being nigh revolutionary for its allowance of some vertical mobility within the game in the form of stairs and vertical height differences, although only at 90-degree angles, bringing the advent of stairs in gaming. John Carmack also managed to program the engine in such a way that the player couldn't scale massive walls even if there was no real 3D in the game. Another feature barely seen before Doom is multiplayer, which, while only local area network based, did exist in the first Doom game. This caused, well, a massive drop in productivity on many offices' computer networks due to people constantly playing matches of Doom's deathmatch mode on the company's computers. And this went so far as for Intel to ban the game from their network as they found their systems swamped. With this, Doom had officially birthed the first-person multiplayer shooter. Then, in 1994, came Doom 2. Released commercially into stores unlike Doom 1993, and selling nearly 3 million copies before 1999. But more than its sales figures, Doom 2 was renowned for its new weapon and its maps. The new weapon was, of course, the Super Shotgun, the beginning of the use of double-barreled shotguns in video games, which quickly took hold as a long-running trend, even lasting into modern-day shooters. Other than the new weapon, the maps were also important, providing a much more varied set of maps, most of which were loved, with few exceptions. Chasm! Even with this new weapon and map pack, Doom 2 brought few other changes, being built on the same engine with identical gameplay, to a point of being compatible with the same mods. But then it began. One of the most important assets Doom had keeping it going through the years, the two communities that were built around it. These two communities were the modding community and the speedrunning community. The modding community has since created many brilliant mods, namely mods such as Brutal Doom, Doom 44 Doom and Guncaster, each of which represents a different style of mod entirely. Brutal Doom represents the group of mods that are updating Doom with unique but modern features, including new weapons and new textures. This category of mod is extremely popular, especially Brutal Doom itself, which has become one of the most popular Doom mods out there. Doom 44 Doom, on the other hand, represents an entirely different kind of update mod, one which directly transplants and updates on new systems from other games. This kind of mod is not as vastly popular as the regular update mods such as Brutal Doom, but has still gathered a lot of attention and hard work from brilliant modders. The third category of mod, which Guncaster fits into, on the other hand, represents an entirely different type of mod, a complete overhaul. A kind of mod that creates an entirely different game running within Doom. Guncaster feels nothing like Doom to play, and that's the point. Alongside these mods came speedrunners of many categories, some doing vanilla ultra-violent speedruns, others doing pacifist runs, and others doing many other kinds of speedruns, to a point of even involving mods in some categories. Then, in August of 2004, the critically panned, at least by Doom standards, Doom 3 was released. Although not a terrible game, it did not live up to the fast-paced, action-heavy gameplay of the previous two main Doom games, and did not succeed nearly as much as was hoped. This was also the last Doom game that John Carmack, the original lead programmer of id Software, would work on directly, although he had some involvement in the SnapMap mode of Doom 2016. Speaking of Doom 2016, after a massive 12-year hiatus, the Doom guy returned. Now as the Doomslayer, he awoke from his 12-year-long slumber into an industry that had changed drastically since his last outing. With paid DLC and microtransactions becoming commonplace in even AAA first-person shooters, the developers at id Software knew they had to set an example. So with only one goal in mind, they set out to create a Doom game that fans old and new would enjoy. And they succeeded, creating Doom 2016, a game with the best of both worlds, the new high-definition graphics on the latest game engine, id Tech 6, with the old-school speed and raw brutal slaughter of the original Doom. Doom 2016 was and still is a no-bullshit experience that a lot of AAA developers should be learning from. Come on EA, Activision and the likes, you can do better than what you're currently doing. No bullshit microtransactions, no paid DLC, no loot box gambling garbage. Just a solid gaming experience with an excellent map making tool and an epic single player campaign. The campaign being exactly what old school players would have been wishing for, an updated Doom 1993. But the Snap Map was something else entirely, a map-making tool which is essentially its own self-contained object-based programming language that's easy to learn but hard to master with tons of room for creativity and design, allowing people to build anything from COD zombies to a first-person MOBA. But then, this leads us to the future. This leads us to Doom Eternal, which is slated to come out on the 28th of December 2019, and so far looks like it's going to be another critical success, proving that Doom still has what it takes to stand up to even the best that the gaming industry has to offer. I have been your host, Vert343. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I am signing off. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.